A very warm welcome to a freezing Autogefühl episode here with the all-new Mercedes G-Class. We'll tell you all about you need to know in exterior, interior and the driving experience. Today also with a new engine and special snow driving experience. So join us in Full HD, full screen and full length. Let's go! So in the front you can see you have still this upright front grille. They saved about 170 kilograms of weight. For example, make the front hood, the side mudguards and also the doors from aluminum to bring the weight down. Still 2.4 tons, so it's still a very heavy vehicle. The front headlamps, they have a round shape and they are also coming now with LED optional. Other than that, sensors are also hidden behind the Mercedes star here, still in a 3D shape, that's nice. Then there's the front camera. In the lower part we have those comp style and the color here, my favorite one is brilliant blue. That's what we call Thomas Blue here on Autogefühl. Characteristically, you still have those eyes, which are the front turning indicators. I would just love this detail. But there's one thing different. So that's side mirrors. We'll soon take a look at that. And have you noticed? A G-Class always appeared quite massive, but now it's even 12 centimeters wider. So this is a massive gain in width right there. Not quite often that we see such a change from generation to generation, but still it's not as wide as some of the big full-size SUVs. 4 meters 82 or 15 foot 8 is the length of the new G-Class. That's about 5 centimeters longer than before, so a slight change there. And design-wise, the main change is really the side mirror. You have a round side mirror now, which was the #1 criticism point, especially for G-Class fans. And the reason they've done that, it's by the way not the copied one from a GLE or something, it's an own development for the G-Class. The reason is it reduces the wind noise at higher speeds, especially when you sit on the inside from this area, and it's also better for overall aerodynamics, so also supposed to bring down consumption and so on. Yeah, that's the modern approach. The other one is the classic design approach. You can surely argue for both stuff. Also some off-road figures. Approaching angle in the front is 30 degrees, leaving angle in the rear is 31 degrees, and the ground clearance is 27 centimeters. So still very off-road capable. In our other summertime off-road episode, we also have shown you a lot about that. 22-inch rims is the maximum. This one here is a winter tire together with 19-inch rims. Really anxious to see how that one plays out for the riding comfort later in the driving part. Both winter tires and smaller rims. But I still think visually it's still totally fine to go with 19-inch. It's an off-road car, so this rather bigger tire off-road look is totally fine with me. What do you think? Side steps here, also gathered some dirt already. And of course you have those classic door handles still with this typical G-Class closing sound. You really can slam the doors and it does not sound like a modern car. It sounds like a traditional car, and I think that's what the car is also about. It looks traditional, somehow has those traditional features, but is meanwhile really a modern car underneath. So this is one of the rare cars where I can stand next to it and it's actually the same height. Really interesting. So typical design here also with the separate rear tire. That's also the reason why the door will open sideways. We'll show that on the interior part very soon. It's always a nice thing to look at. They haven't changed too much in design in the rear. Those tail lamps, of course, have been updated just a little bit. Interesting to know, by the way, that in the front there's an independent suspension, whereas the rear suspension is still rigid. That's for the tough off-road use. However, this also reduces comfort if you compare it, for example, to some of the modern SUVs. What do you think about the design here of the new G-Class? So let's open the hood. So far for the new generation there was the G500, a 4-liter V8 petrol engine with 422 horsepower, and the G63, the same engine basically, but then tuned to 585 horsepower. This one now is the G350D, the first new diesel, 3-liter diesel 6-cylinder. It's a completely new engine, also has a special dampening, so for less vibrations and stuff. This one here was 286 horsepower. Approximately the same will also be used in the GLE, but then with a little bit less horsepower spec. Here the acceleration figure is 7.4 seconds to 100 kilometers or 62 miles an hour. That's only 1.5 seconds slower than the G500 in acceleration. Pretty interesting. The all-wheel drive setup will remain the same for all engines, 40% base in the front, 60% in the rear, permanent all-wheel drive, so the torque distribution right there. In the previous generation it was 50-50, so a little bit more rear wheel bias here now for this generation. So let's see how that one turns out. Consumption wise, in our test so far, the petrol engines were at about, well, 12 liters on 100 kilometers minimum, and up to 14, and if you push it even more than 14 liters. So we hope diesel will score a better consumption here today. We'll go up the hill a little bit, make some agile driving. We cannot measure that, but at the end or towards the end of our review, we'll also take a motorway ride to really test the minimum consumption of this diesel, and then we can tell you if that makes sense to go for that one in comparison to the petrol if you want to save fuel.